right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly dividing the word, in truth and sincerity. And Shalom to you believers out there, the Akim wa Akwatim. So, as you can see, it says what? College-educated liberal white women shown to be the most gullible and compliant with, you see the V word, propaganda. All right? And see, I got a couple of more articles. Medical school has turned into a creepy anti-white racism cult where graduates are required to swear oaths against white people. See? And I've been hearing a lot about this anti-white stuff, and that's why is that? Because, see, Esau is being made bare. Esau is at the end of his rulership, and you also got the video surfacing about how the elites is just obsessed with trying to escape the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua with them underground bunkers. See, Esau Edom is at the end, and when we speak about Esau, we speaking about the so-called white man, but as well as his woman, all right? Because his woman ain't going to get a pass either, okay? You as well will be in slavery, just like our women had to endure slavery and things of with their man being conquered. Well, the so-called white woman, she will endure the same things as our women had to endure by her man being conquered. And the best part about it is it will be double. All right. See, so because matter of fact, when you go to Ezekiel 35, what the Lord tell us to do. Starting at the top, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. All right. And if you knew, Mount Seir is basically going into the so-called white man, his habitation. All right. And say unto it, thus said the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I'm against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. All right. Because see, Esau Edom, all right, when the Lord is through with him, he's going to be a no people as we were. All right. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. See? And this is Esau Edom destiny right here. All right. And this is why we get on Esau Edom. Because of verse 2, it says what? Set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. See? And the Lord has a bone to pick with Babylon the Great and you so-called white, the so-called white race. See? Because you have perpetual hate for us. All right? You raped, robbed, murdered. I mean, you just drove Israel into the ground. And looking at our people all over, the world, in our lower state, you can see, that's still, that's the result. Okay. The result of the conditioning of our people is due to what Esau and Edom has done to us. And a lot of these so-called white people don't want to take responsibility for that. All right. Jake, it's certain things Jake can do. But when you have hundreds of years of slavery, all right, you have a systematic, a system that's oppressive. It's systematically placed on Israel. All right. You got all this subconscious things being put in movies and TV shows. This contribute to the way our people is, man. Okay. And Esau is not going to escape. And I'm going to get into these articles, but I'm just kind of setting the tone. When you go to Isaiah 14, it says what? For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, see, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right, no strangers is like Israelite foreigners, okay? And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Right. So the same, like I said, and the white woman is not going to get a pass. You will be in captivity as well with your man. You will be a concubine as well. All right. You will have to endure what our women had to endure. All right. But see, the difference is we're going to be more righteous in our kingdom. So we're not going to be as, what's the word I'm looking for? It won't be no buck breaking going on in the kingdom. All right. But see, y'all will be brought low. All right. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in that day the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. That's speaking to Israel. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. See? The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. See, continually oppressing Israel. Even though the so-called white man had the natural resources, he got his face on the money. All right. He controlled the economics. He still put in laws and legislations to what? Keep Israel in further derision. See? He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. And even these other nations, even though these other nations, they're going to go into slavery as well. All right. But see, they will, after their 1,000 years is up, they will be able to enjoy the kingdom and enjoy being under the rulership of Israel, because it'll be a righteous kingdom. Now, they won't have the laws and they won't enjoy, they will nowhere near be on the level of an Israelite, but they'll at least be able to, be in a system that's ruled in righteousness. Unlike this system, that's ruled in unrighteousness. Again, verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. See, nobody's going to feel sorry for Esau Edom when he goes down. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. See, you see. Now, when you jump down, what do this say? Verse 11, it say, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? See? And when you know anything about Esau, his power was deception. All right? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pits. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? See? Because when it's speaking about Lucifer, it's speaking about a man. It's not speaking about the spiritual demon Satan. See, Lucifer just means light bearer. Okay. The illuminated ones, just like we're illuminated on the right hand side. OK. Verse 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? And that's what they're going to be saying about Esau Edom. He's going to be in a very, very low estate. Verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners. See? All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as a remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. See? Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. See? And when Esau go down, he's never going to rise back into power. And that's the good news. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. You hear these new white boys and these little Beckys out here. I didn't own slaves. I wasn't around that time. Prepare slaughter for the children for the iniquity of their fathers. And see, what they don't understand is the concept of reincarnation. Some of these Edomites you see prancing through, looking ugly. Hey, they reincarnated back for what? Judgment. And even if they wasn't around, well, they're benefiting off of the slavery and the mishaps of Israel, man. When you get hundreds and hundreds of years of free labor, okay, that's how America became a superpower, off of the blood, sweat, and tears of Israel, man, when you go into the history. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, right? Your forefathers. So prepare slaughter for you, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. Right. And when you cut off the males of any nation, well, guess what? That nation is done, because the woman don't hold the seed. Only the man. Only a white man can make a white race repopulate again. Because in layman's terms, if a white man sleep with a Chinese woman, well, that baby could look Chinese all it won't, but it's a white baby. All right, in layman's terms. All right, because the father hold the seed. See, so that's why the Lord of hosts, all right, the Lord of armies, all right, said what? I will cut off the name and remnant and son and nephew. That's covering all the men of your nation. Okay? Because in the kingdom, you won't be hearing about Thomas Jefferson or George Washington or Bill Gates. No, they're going to be in chains. Okay? So now, just setting the tone. Let's get into these articles. It said medical school has turned into a creepy anti-white racism cult where graduates are required to swear oaths against white people. All right. U of M medical school. Now, that's University of Minnesota. Medical school is now forcing students to recite an anti-white oath before they are allowed to receive an education in pharmaceutical drugs, evasive surgery, and other Western medicine protocols. See, and this is Esau getting those curses put on him, man. Where a school is reciting an anti-white oath, man. This would have never taken place in the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s. All right, even in the 70s and 80s. All right, maybe even not in the 90s. But now today you have where the Lord is chopping Esau down, man. On August 19th, UM held an official white coat ceremony for the recitation ritual, which the school says is designed to promote a culture of anti-racism among students. And everybody in the world knows when it comes to, because everybody has racism, all right? But everybody in the world knows that they deem the most racist is white people, man. So-called white people. That's why they say that, to promote a culture of anti-racism among students. Related medical school students across the country are now being forced to say out loud that they have white privilege before being allowed to graduate. White coats themselves, students were told during the woke sacrament, are a symbol of power, prestige, and dominance. Students thus need to strive to reclaim their identity as a symbol of responsibility, humility, and loving kindness. We commit to uprooting the legacy and perpetuation of structural violence deeply embedded within the healthcare system. Students were seen and heard reciting during the service. See? And everybody knows you got Elamites, these so-called East Indians and so-called Asians and all of them. They know that the white man, the white race, has perpetually, well, basically systematically, imposed white supremacy through the earth, man. The leader of the recitation was Dr. Robert Englander, Associate Dean for undergraduate medical education. He described the oath as beautiful. I gotta look this guy up, man. Stating that it was written by students on consultation with their faculty advisors. We recognize inequities built by past and present traumas rooted in white supremacy, colonism, and gender binary ableism, and all forms of oppression. The oath continues as we enter this profession, Salakia, with opportunity for growth. I'm getting a little excited. We commit to promoting a culture of anti-racism, listening and amplifying voices for positive change. We pledge to honor all indigenous ways of healing that have been historically marginalized by Western medicine. All right? Indigenous. All right? Knowing that health is inanimally connected to our environment, we commit to healing our planet and community. See? And it says right here, anti-racism is institutionalized racism against white people. See? And this is going into what? Because and white people, they always wonder why people, is coming out with this type of stuff. Well, I wonder why. Why would they be saying that? And they got, all of the rape, robbery, murder, and blood shedded by these people, and they wonder why people was running around hating them, man. You got to be out your goddamn mind, man. You got to be out your goddamn mind. Last year, medical students at U of M wrote a similar pledge about their goal to be actively anti-racist. What this implies in the context of medicine is nothing short of ominous. Keep in mind that U of M is considered to be one of the best medical schools in the country. It currently ranks number 3 on U.S. News and World Report lists of the top schools for primary care. See, and this is one of the top 3 schools that's doing this, man. All right, because like I was saying, Esau Edom is made bare. All right, he's being made, because listen, matter of fact, before I get into more, let's go into it. When you go to Revelation 20, all right, starting at verse 7, what do it say? And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan, speaking about Esau Edom, shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. See? And see, when that's going into because Israel, Jakes was ruling in Europe. All right. They ruled about 1,000 years, okay, roughly. And then when Esau Edom started coming back into power, I think around the 1400s, they had something that was known as iconoclasm. That's where they whitewashed all the paintings. That's why if you go to Russia, you can see a lot of paintings of so-called black people. All right. Black men, our forefathers, Yahweh Shai, the prophets, everybody is so-called black men. But see, when Esau, Edom started coming back into power, they did what is called iconoclasm, and they started painting those images white. All right. Even Michelangelo was commissioned to paint Yahweh Shah as a so-called white man. And he used Caesar Borgia, Cesare Borgia, you know? Okay. See, and his greatest weapon is deception. But see, the Lord, because look, let's get it. Let's back this precept up. When you go to Job 9:24, where do it say? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So-called Edom. So-called white man, Edomites, man. They run this world, man. Jake don't do it. Jake ain't running the system. Who face on the money? All right. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? See? And this is what this is going into, that deception. The whole world know what the so-called white man did to Israel, okay? And they're as well doing it to the other nations. This is why these things is coming to him, because he's being made bare. Let's get that. All right. When you go to Jeremiah, Esau is being made bare. Them curses is going to come on to him, and we going to get that. Jeremiah 49:10, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. And that's going back into Isaiah 14. What did it say? When we was in Isaiah 14, it says what? The Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, surely, what? Slacky, hold on. It was Isaiah 14. It says, for I will rise up against them, said the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. See? So his seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Because again, once the so-called white man get out of power, he will never, ever, ever, ever rise back again. All right? He will never, ever rise back again, man. Now, let's go back to this article. All right, because I got another one. Now, when you go here, it says what? College-educated liberal white women shown to be the most gullible and compliant with you see it, propaganda. The survey reveals something quite fascinating. While men, black and Hispanics, all caught on and largely stopped taking the fraudulent, you see what it say? The C19 V word. After the first or second dose, white liberal women, college educated, indoctrinated, continued to remain shockingly obedient to the propaganda and demanded 3 or more doses. From the study, while only 42% of Hispanics took 3 jabs and 55% of blacks took 3 jabs, and even white college-educated men only had 58% compliance with 3 jabs, white women with college degrees, i.e. liberal women, showed 70% compliance with triple jabs. See? So his woman is being, like I said, it's not just for the man. His woman is going to be in derision as well. This shocking finding revealed that white women are heavily indoctrinated in today's colleges and are incredibly obedient to social engineered demands for mass extermination, while a larger number of blacks, Hispanics, and even white men came to their senses and stopped taking the clot shots. Liberal white women doubled, tripled, and even quadrupled down and demanded more injections, most likely while screaming at everybody around them to put on more masks and keep their distance. And see, the white woman will be known as the angry white woman. You see how it's going to be reversed? Because right now you have the angry black woman. And we all know Eve that's out in the world, she's through. All right. But see, this curse will be put on their woman. All right. That's why in parentheses it said that. This finding is consistent with another study covered by Information Liberation that has found the following shocking beliefs among white liberals, mostly women. The now believe that whites are more violent than blacks. They believe that whites are more lazier compared to blacks. They believe that whites are less intelligent than blacks. This is a study, man. All right. These beliefs have been hammered into white liberals via the fake news, media, and pop culture programming, movies, TV, advertising, etc. White liberal women soaked it up like a mindless sponge, and we already know the woman is the weaker vessel on in every race. All right, period. But see, these curses will be coming upon Esau. White liberal women, it seems, are practically incapable of independent, non-racist thinking and have been largely brainwashed with false beliefs about culture, race, medicine, and science. As they are taking their fourth shot, a white liberal woman is likely to scream, "I trust the science," even though they are being slowly genocided by the jab. See? And when you come for a nation, you go to that woman first, because everybody know the woman is the weaker vessel. All right. Just as our woman was used to destroy, our family system, and our woman was manipulated against us, basically, that evil eye. All right. But Esau Edom turned our women against us. Well, the white woman be turned against her man. All right. Look at that. See? And let's get it, because you're gonna have a lot of these white people. I've been hearing about this, but see, even when you go back to the humble beginnings, when you go to Genesis 4:12, what did it say? When thou tillest the ground, it shall now henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto my Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. And this is exactly because we all, if you can receive it, Cain, the spirit of Cain is that spirit of Esau, because Cain slew his brother. Esau slew his brother as well. All right. With that continual stroke. All right. And see, Cain, well, let me read on. Verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And see, Esau Edom, again, he's being made bare. Everybody, you got Israel waking up. We no longer know he's white. He's the red man. He's Esau Edom. All right. And that's becoming more common for Esau to be, the so-called white man to be known as Esau. Because he hide behind, I'm a German, I'm a Russian, I'm French, I'm an American. No, you're Esau Edom. See? And it's going to come to a point, because everybody's tired of the so-called white man. Everybody's tired of him. See? Everybody. And that's why he's going to say my punishment is greater than I could bear, because in the kingdom, he going to be getting, they're going to be getting the brakes broke off of him. All right? And they're going to be crying and bitching up. All right? You know it. Let's get this, because it just came to mind. Now, when you go to Genesis 27, this is after Isaac blessed Jacob. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And that's exactly, Esau's going to be weeping all the damn time. All right? When he got what's coming to him, man. We're going to make them a no people, never to arise. Now, I got one more article, right? All right. And it says Nigeria. All right. And you got a lot of Jakes in Nigeria. All right. Nigeria officially bans the use of foreign models and actors in advertisement. Now, when you get to the brass tacks, it was articles put out that said white models. When you get this is of course a little cleaned up because they probably, over there in Nigeria, who you think mainly is the foreign models they talking about? The so-called white man and his woman. Just last week, Nigeria Federal Ministry of Information and Culture posted a statement on Twitter announcing that the country's Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria has issued a formal ban of using foreign models and voiceover actors in Nigeria. And see, this is again racism because of who? The so-called white man. It's not they're not talking about so-called black people. They're not talking about so-called Mexicans or East Indian. They talking about the so-called white man because, this is why everybody's tired of him. The white man think he's everybody and responsible for everything. He's the Egyptian. He's the African. He's the Asian. He's everybody. When you look at these movies, the so-called white man want to play everybody. When you go back to ancient Egypt, it's him. When you go to any parts of Africa, it's him. When you talk about Israel, it's him. He a lot of times don't touch in the Asian culture or the Arabic culture. All right. But anybody else, that's him. It's nobody else but him. See, for many years, advertisement often aired in Nigeria featured white actors and are narrated by those with a British accent. See? And they're speaking about so-called white people. However, with the new ban in place starting this October, the country is enforcing a new rule that bars white or non-Nigerian models and voiceover artists to be in advertisement as a way to foster local talent. See? And Jake is standing up, man. All right? Jake is standing up, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of Jake over there in Nigeria, man. You got Hamites over there as well. People tired of Esau Edom, man. As you can see. All right. The move is a major step for the country that appears to want to take back the narrative of representation in the country's native population, right? Because you have a lot of. This is what you're going to see when you. Not saying it's not so-called white people that stay over there, but majority of Nigerian is probably a so-called black population, man. But then when you go to their advertisement, you see white. When you go to the voiceover, it's somebody with that British accent. So-called white, man. They like forgetting, no, man. Jake standing up, man. And that's the spirit of the Lord on Israel to stand up. All right. What did it say? They were in fear. All right. When we stood up on our feet, they were in fear, man. Roughly paraphrased, man. All right. In an interview with The Times, the president of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, Steve Babeko, said 10 to 20 years ago, if you check the commercials, I would say that the faces and all the voiceover were British accents. This was because most Nigerian brands were more inclined to use foreign faces, and they only putting foreign is white faces. They not talking about Jake over here in America over there. No, because it would be still seen as a so-called black person, even though the accent would be different. Babeko notes that in the past few years, Nigeria appears to have gone through a kind of renaissance. Renaissance, man. This is what happened when Jake lost power, okay? And Esau, what they say, we will build back the desolate places. It was called the Renaissance era, the Renaissance period, when iconoclasm happened. Well, now, hey, it's a reverse. See? A kind of renaissance where he noticed that its people have found a new sense of pride merging within the younger population he added. And that's because the Lord is raising Israel back, man. With the new ban, many are seeing that the country is finally catching up with national sentiment. The new ban takes effect starting on October 1st, so that's about 3 weeks, in hopes that it will be the first step toward allowing African history and stories to be told by its people. If companies choose to disobey the ban, they will be required to pay a tariff for every foreign model used in advertisement. See, and Jake, even though this is on a carnal level, you see where the Lord is putting the spirit on Israel to stand up. All right. The so-called white man at the end of his reign will come to naught. He will be a no people. He will be nothing. He will be the low man and woman on the totem pole, man. All right. The standard of beauty won't be the so-called white man and woman. No more. It'll be Israel. All right. And again, in Nigeria, you have a lot of Israelites in Nigeria, man. All right. Mainly these 4 models right here. And this is in Lagos. They look like Israelites. You see what I'm saying? It's probably Israel more than likely. All right. So I'm going to get this precept and close out because it was prophesied in the scriptures. All right. Now, when you go to Deuteronomy 30, and I'm going to start at the top, it says, and it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy power have driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy power, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart, and with all thy soul. All right. And this is what we coming back to, the obedience, obeying his voice. And how do you do that? By obeying the word, man. Verse 3, that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy power have scattered thee. See, and that's how you know he's speaking to Israel. And this is in Deuteronomy in the law. This is Moses speaking to us. Okay. All right. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy power gather thee. See? And in America, the West could be considered that uttermost part. Okay. And from thence will I fetch thee. See? And you got Israelites waking up all over, even in Nigeria. And just a quick testimony, I was speaking to, I had took an Uber, and this guy, he was from Nigeria, and we got to talking, and he knew he was an Israelite. Okay. He said, oh yeah, I know I'm an Israelite. And he was from Nigeria. Okay. See, verse 5, and the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy power will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And what's that new covenant he gonna make with us? To write the laws in our inward parts. All right. Verse 7 in the point. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. See? And guess what? This is the transition that we're going into right now. That's why you got brothers, preaching his word day in, day out. You got sisters coming back. I'm pretty sure a lot of sisters out there is getting more modest, even though we see, Jake still through. All right. But you still have a population of Israel all over that's coming back to the obedience of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. And see, that's why I brought these articles out, man. Because, see, this is nothing. You wouldn't have had this. That's why he said 10, 20 years ago. So imagine 30, 40, 50 years. This would have been unknown. All right. See, this is showing you that these curses coming back. Because when it say use of foreign models, it's mainly speaking about the so-called white man and woman. Best believe that. That's why I said white actors right there. All right. So I just wanted to throw this out there. You know, Lord willing, it was edifying. You know, boost up in the spirit, a spirit booster. All right, until the next lesson, Shalom.